Hey guys, and welcome to a brand new video here on FPL Now. Today we're going to be going over my new update to team selection for Game Week 1. So if you're excited for the video, drop a like down below. Leave a comment, what is your Game Week 1 team looking like? Subscribe if you're brand new, we're so close to 7,000 subs. With all of that out of the way though, let's get into the video and I really hope that you enjoy. So, starting things off before we get into my team, the big changes that have just happened in FPL is that Gabriel Jesus has just undergone some knee surgery, so he's going to be out for the first few weeks. He was in a lot of people's drafts, so that's going to shake a lot of people's drafts up. And as well as that, Nkunku just went off injured in yesterday's preseason friendly for Chelsea. Again, we don't know the severity of that injury yet. They do need to, I think Poch actually came out and said that they're going to have to take a few days to assess it and see what it is. But, you know, if that's quite bad as well, then Nkunku could also be out for a couple of weeks. So that's two massive forwards that have just been completely taken out of the first few weeks of this new FPL season. So there's not a lot of choices left. But anyway, let's get into my team. I've got Pickford in goal, but again, he could be generally any 4.5 mil keeper. It could be a Flecken, John Stone, anything like that. I've just got Pickford in there because he was just the first one that I saw when I was picking my 4.5 mil keeper, but I'm not completely sold on him. Again, I don't really know who I'm going to go with if I do go with this draft out of the 4.5 mil options. They're all right, you know, they've all got okay fixtures. There's not really anything that's like jumping out at me. Arguably, I'd say that Flecken is probably the better one, but he has not been great in preseason games, so I'm not really sure if he's going to be the option to go with. They do concede quite a few shots, so it could be very beneficial for like save points and stuff like that. But Pickford will also get save points and stuff by playing for Everton. So, yeah, I really don't know who to go for. But either way, right now we do have Pickford in goal. He's got Fulham at home for the first fixture of the season. So that could be like a 0-0 if you want. But then he's got Villa, Wolves, Sheffield United. So Villa will probably concede against them. Villa will probably score against them. But Wolves and then Sheffield United, two games you think there could be a potential of a clean sheet there. So that's my goalkeeper. The back line, we've got Estepinian, we've got Gabriel, and we've got Shaw. Brought back Luke Shaw. Again, if I don't have Onana in goal, then you already know that Shaw is going to be in my draft. I do want some form of United defence. Even though the United fixtures are not actually that good from a defensive standpoint at the start of the season. They've got Wolves, and then they've got Spurs away, and then they've got Forest, but then they've got Arsenal, then Brighton. But then it's Burnley, Crystal Palace, Brentford, and Sheffield United. So I think United are probably, a United defender is someone that you want to own around game week 6, because after that, the fixtures get really good. But, you know, Wolves and Forest both at home. I do want a Luke Shaw in those fixtures. And again, I do have a fourth defender as well that I can just rotate with Luke Shaw. So it's not the worst thing in the world. It will kind of give me a benching headache, but it's a nice headache to have. And then Gabriel and Estepinian as well. Again, already been over why they're in my team. They're just both really good fixtures. Estepinian, really attacking. Gabriel, really good on set pieces. And a lot of the teams that Arsenal are playing the first few games of the season are terrible against set pieces. As well as that, Forest just conceded 5 goals in a preseason friendly, which is not great at all. Very worried about the new season. But, you know, Arsenal are just going to be licking their lips at that because obviously we go to Arsenal away very soon. So, yeah, I'm a little bit worried about that. That might be a cricket score. But anyway, that's the back line there. Again, easily could change it. It generally just depends on what happens with these forwards and stuff. In the midfield, we've gone back to 5. There's no Matoma in my midfield. Obviously, that triple up Arsenal has to have been changed as well because Gabriel Jesus is now injured. So I have to bring in a different Arsenal player. I don't have to, but, you know, I do want that Arsenal triple up because of the fixtures that they've got. So I'm currently on Rashford, Ødegaard, Saka, and Mbeumo and Bruno Fernandes. 3 penalty takers in that midfield, so very happy with that. And Ødegaard and Rashford, you would like to think are kind of 90-minute men as well. Especially with that, the big news now in the next season of the Prem is that it's going to be a little bit like the World Cup where there's going to be like a lot more minutes added on at the end of the game. So because I think like the average was like 55 minutes or something, that's how long the ball was in play last season. So obviously nowhere near 90 minutes. So obviously what they did with the World Cup, they added all of that extra time on, and I think that's what they're going to be doing in this next season in the Prem. So that arguably could be quite bad for defenders if you are kind of holding out for that clean sheet, and then you know, you hit the 90th minute and then the board goes up and it's like an extra 17 minutes of extra time. You're probably not going to keep that clean sheet. Whereas with, you know, your 90-minute players, it's probably a lot better because they've got a lot more time to score and get you some points and stuff, especially if you're trying to get like a captain return or something like that. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting how that shakes things up. But yeah, we've got Rashford, we've got Ødegaard, but again, he could be a Martinelli, could be a Trossard as well. I don't really know who's going to play in that Jesus spot. We've got Havertz, you've got Nketiah, you've obviously got Trossard as well that can play there. So yeah, I honestly have no idea who's going to play in that up front role for Arsenal. But again, we don't know how long he's going to be out for. He said a few weeks, but again, that could be more than a few weeks, could be less. We'll have to wait and see. Saka's in the team as well, obviously, arguably the best Arsenal attacker to have on penalties. And Mbeumo as well has actually got a penalty or two in the preseason, obviously converted them. So a very nice option to have. Brentford's got some nice fixtures coming up. Again, Mitoma is the other option, but I honestly don't know. Like, I could even go like Ødegaard and drop him down to Mitoma, and then just have Rashford, Mitoma, Saka, and Mbeumo and Bruno Fernandes, and that might actually allow me to upgrade to like a Trent. But I don't know if I even want Trent. You know, Liverpool have been leaking in quite a few goals, and he's not actually been performing as well as I was expecting him to in pre-season, so I'm a little bit worried about that. If I was a Trent owner, so I'm not really sure if I'm going to bring him in my team or not. He's a lot of money to have when he may not even be playing in that, you know, that midfield role that we're expecting him to. So I'm definitely going to keep my eyes on that. But yeah, Mbeumo, who's got Tottenham at home, and then Bruno Fernandes, who's got Wolves at home, obviously the new Man United captain. So I do like the look of the midfield. Again, the Ødegaard option is still someone I think I may change. Again, it all depends on like what happens with these injuries and stuff like that. So that's the midfield. And then up top, we've got Jackson, who of course is he's a bit on fire, to be fair, in pre-season. But with that Nkunku injury, I feel like he's going to get a lot more minutes now. And you know, he's been playing so well in pre-season. Poch has like spoken really highly of him, so yeah, he might get a lot more minutes now, and he's only 7 mil. You know, this draft could also have like a Darwin Núñez in or something like that, who's again probably the only other option you could really have at this point in time with the injuries that, you know, we've got in that forward spot, as well as like maybe Calvert-Lewin as well. But again, he's so injury prone, it's ridiculous. So yeah, I think Jackson's definitely going to go up quite a bit in terms of percentage owned by these by the managers and stuff. But again, that's just kind of been put in there because of the news. Like, I'd much rather have Nkunku because he's on penalties and stuff like that. But you know, if he's not backed by pre-season, if he's not backed by like the first game, obviously we'll know. Yeah, it's definitely going to shake up a lot of drafts and stuff. And then Haaland captaincy as well, obviously, you know, just very obvious to have him in my team as the captain. So that's what my draft's looking like. My bench currently consists of Areola, who obviously 4 mil, potentially could be the new #1 for West Ham. It's not the worst thing in the world if he's not, because he's 4 mil anyway. It'd just be very nice if he was, because then I could rotate my keepers. Chilwell, who's got Liverpool at home. I do really like having Chilwell in my team as well. I feel like I'm going to definitely have him. I'd just rather play Shaw, who's got Wolves at home against, and then Chilwell, who's got Liverpool at home. So, but yeah, I feel like benching Chilwell could also be quite bad. I may even bench Mbeumo in the first game week if I do go with this draft. I just feel like Chilwell's ceiling is a little bit higher than Mbeumo's, even though that Mbeumo does have penalties and stuff, but that could definitely come back to bite me. And then I've also got Kabore, who, yeah, 4 mil defender. He has started for Luton in the pre-season fixtures. I think he's definitely going to be that #1 choice in that right wing back spot. And yeah, even though, you look, they're going to be leaking in a lot of goals this season, but I think just having a 4 mil playing defender is obviously very beneficial. And then we've also got up front Mubama. I don't know if I said his name right, but yeah, the West Ham striker kind of come through the ranks. David Moyes has spoken really highly of him. He's had actually a few minutes pre-season. I think he's actually got a couple of goals as well. And David Moyes was like, yeah, I don't want him to go out on loan, don't want him to be sold or anything like that. And obviously with West Ham now being once again in Europe this season, I feel like he potentially could get a lot more minutes. He's not a player that I know is going to start every single game, obviously, but he could be coming on, you know, with 20 minutes left to play, especially with the extra time added on and stuff. So I think he is quite a decent option to have on the bench. But again, I'm not going to be playing him. He's just going to be worst case scenario, comes off my bench. So that's what my team currently looks like. Again, we need to kind of wait for forward news and stuff like that before I completely lock this team in. But yeah, it's not long now. It's like 8 days to the season starts. So yeah, there's not going to be more drafts left. We're going to be straight into game week 1, and then we're going to see how we do. But thank you for watching the video. That's going to be everything from me. If you did enjoy, please do drop a like down below. Let's try and hit 50 likes. Leave a comment as well. What is your game week 1 squad looking like? Has the injuries mixed up your team at all? Make sure to join the league. Code is in the description down below. Subscribe if you're brand new. We're so close to 7,000 subs. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic rest of your day, and until next time, peace.